What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to go over the new information we've learned about NHL 21. So this is a game franchise I'm very, very passionate about. I actually made a video on Podcast Now a few weeks ago talking about what's going on with this game, and now we finally have answers. We honestly have a lot of answers and a lot more information, which honestly I think a lot of good things came out from this. So let's go over what was said, and then I'll go over my impressions of it. So this comes from IGN, who obviously covered the story. NHL 21 will launch in October. No release date, so we'll talk about that a little bit later, and won't offer next-gen versions of the game, although it will be compatible on Xbox Series X and PS5. A blog post from the development team on the official EA NHL page notes that the game will launch in October instead of the usual September due to extraordinary circumstances, most likely related to the impact of the blank. We've had to make major adjustments in developing the game from home, the statement reads. This transition has been very successful, and we're happy to say that the game is on track and feature complete against our original vision. We just need a few extra weeks to do the polish, fine-tuning, and bug fixing. NHL 21 will launch on current-gen consoles in October, but a next-gen version for PS5 or Series X won't arrive later down the line, although the game will be playable on said consoles via forward compatibility. For NHL 21, we made the decision to focus on adding innovation and new features rather than the resource-heavy task of porting the game to new console technology, the quote reads. We are fully focused on launching NHL 21 on the Xbox One and PS4 and look forward to the opportunities the next-gen systems will bring in the future. The development team also revealed that we will be getting a first look at NHL 21 in late August in order to showcase the new features coming to the game this year. To thank players for their support, the team also provided some complimentary hut packs, great, to NHL 20. Okay, we're going to stop there. I don't really care what they're giving to NHL 20. All right, so a lot. There's a lot here, obviously. The first thing is, firstly, I want to start with a joke, is that NHL has always been the game. Firstly, it's the game that I love the most of these sports games. Okay, I'm a diehard NHL fan. I watch real hockey, all this kind of stuff. I love it. I honestly love it. It's always been, in my opinion, my favorite of the sports games. It's always been very lacking in terms of some of the features and the improvements that the other games have made. Now, obviously, there's different sides of, sports games are terrible, sports games are amazing, or some people only play sports games. Some people look at them as like the devil. All of these different kinds of things, right? To me, again, I love the NHL franchise. I think they've done a relatively good job from, every single year. I've actually gotten every single game for the past 11 years. So I can speak to, bad years that they've had, good years where they actually did jump forward, right? But with that being said, for this to be the only sports game to not have a next-gen version is kind of funny. I'm not holding it against it. Even when the game comes out, I'm not mad at them at all. I don't, it's not something where it's like, dang it, like I wanted to play a fully realized next-gen version. Because like I say, I've said this for numerous games, no game that releases this year or even probably first half of next year is made solely with next-gen in mind, okay? So even if we got NHL for next-gen consoles this fall, it would literally be a port. I mean, they even said that, right? Like, to bring it over to next-gen is a lot of work, which I do believe. We'll address that in a second. But you know what I mean? So, like, when Madden comes out, when FIFA comes out, and those can be played on next-gen, like, we'll have a next-gen version. That's great. I want that. I mean, I want that for Assassin's Creed. I want that for Cyberpunk. I want that for Watch Dogs. But at the same time, I recognize that it's not going to give me everything I want. I'm not literally going to be playing a next-gen, a PS5 version of NHL 21. In all reality, it's going to take till next year to get that game. You know what I mean? Now, another thing is the whole porting thing. They make it sound like a really big deal, that this takes a lot of work to do it. From what we've seen around the gaming industry, I'm not necessarily buying that. I feel like they're taking a little less. They're not. I would say they're not mentioning as much what the thing that went on around the world. They're not really talking about how much that affected them. Because I think it affected them greatly. Okay, especially them being in Canada, having to work from home. That probably pushed them several months back. And so again, to only have this game come out like a month and a half from when it was supposed to, honestly, that's pretty darn good. Like, I'm actually pretty impressed. Remember the EA? They had like a report where they talked about when NHL could come out, and they said October through December. So it was really, they gave themselves 3 months to work with where NHL could fit. For it to only come out a little bit basically in that time period, honestly, really, really good. Now, this date makes sense because the NHL season can end no later than October 4th. That's the last day that the season is going to end. So for it to come out in October, it would be right at the end of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Ironically, right, that they're still happening. The NHL draft is in October. All this kind of stuff. Free agency probably would start around there too. So, that kind of situation, that kind of spot for NHL 2021 makes a lot of sense. So I think, again, that's a good spot for it to land. The first look in August, honestly, is really, really cool. We know because the NHL is going to basically be starting in the beginning of August that also makes a lot of sense. So really, honestly, I feel like what they're doing, I hope this part isn't true, but this is what I think they're doing. They're lining it up with what the NHL season is actually doing. Now, the game and the actual NHL season do have a lot of correlations to each other, right? They kind of rely, the game relies on the real NHL, like any sports franchise probably. Well, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's what they do, right? Normally, the announcement of the game, the cover athlete, is in like June with the NHL awards. It comes out in September, which is right around training camp starts. So when the game comes out, the season of NHL is about to start. So again, it works really. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for it to come out like in July or for it to come out in like December, because like it started or it's not even close, right? So they definitely rely on each other. Now again, the late August reveal, that's totally cool. That makes a lot of sense. I have no problem with that. The October release, which again, what I was talking about, they're making it seem like that it's focused mainly on that they didn't want to do next gen, that would take too much work. I just really hope they're not trying to force it, because again, they could have released this game in December from what we know. I just hope they're not trying to force it to release around right after basically the playoffs end, right? To kind of like make that work really nice. Maybe like EA is telling them to do that, stuff like that. That's what I just really hope doesn't happen. With that being said, again, I think all in all, this is really good news. I'm not all that upset at all about it not coming to next gen. The fact that they literally did say like we're putting the focus on the features, on the innovation rather than porting it is good. Again, I don't necessarily believe them all the way that moving it to next gen would take all that much work, would take away from them doing new things. With that being said, new things are always, welcome. The NHL, like all sports franchises, you do hope for steps in a positive direction, that there are changes made to even like the core gameplay, right? I hope that is what they have been doing, and again, that's what it sounds like. So all in all, I'm very, very excited to see this game. As always, I'm very excited to play it. The only problem for me personally, just as a gamer, is coming out in October. October has like 6 games releasing in it, and it's actually that I'm getting, by the way. So it's absolutely ridiculous how packed October already is. This year seems like there's really going to be next to nothing in September, and then everything is just going to come out in October, in November. So it is going to be a very, very packed fall period. Again, really exciting with hockey coming back, like literally the real people playing it. Then we get to see this game. Then obviously, and now I feel like nobody's really confirmed this, but when we normally get like betas where we get to play the game, seems like they're not going to do it, although there has been no official confirmation, so we'll have to see how that goes. But again, I'm very, very excited for this game. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to play it yet again for, I believe, this will be my 12th year now. So all in all, very, very good signs coming out from them. Finally, we get some info, right? Because it's been a very long time, and for them to do it finally now on the 21st, obviously yesterday, very good. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? You excited for this year's version? Did you take any like offense, or do you not like anything that they said in their post? Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. I'm going to be continuing talking about this NHL game. I talk about it pretty much every year, so as we get more info, as we see the game, I'll be sure to cover it either on this channel or on podcast. Now, I make a new video every single day on this channel, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.